Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome to my studio. This is Paint with Lovejoy. Thanks so much for joining me. If this is your first time here, please subscribe to the channel and check out the other videos. And if you're here for a second, third, or fourth time, thank you so much for coming back and getting creative. Alright guys, it's going to be another fun Warhol painting of Marilyn Monroe. So grab your supplies, transfer your traceable to your surface, and as always, make sure you take your progress photos. Now if you do want to pause the video and draw what you see so that way you don't have to utilize the traceable, feel free to do that. And because this is a Warhol tribute, you are more than welcome to switch colors on any aspect today. I am doing one of the renditions that he did with the teal background and the yellow hair, but again, you can switch out any color that you want today. And we are using kind of that medium teal, so it's a mixture of white and teal, and painting that whole background. And if you happen to have various shades of teal in your background, totally okay. If you are painting on a stretched canvas, I do recommend that you carry this color around the edges of the canvas. That way it looks nice when you hang it on the wall, having that color wrap around the edge. I am using student grade paint, and I do recommend that if you're using student grade paint to apply your paint a little bit thicker for more opaque coverage, or if your paint is a bit more thinner, feel free to do a couple of layers or coats of this color. You'll put your base down, let it dry, and then put another layer on top of it. All right, this is coming along nicely. Remember to breathe. Take your progress photo, pause the video. Remember to inhale and exhale, especially when you get nervous. So for the skin tone, we're starting with white. We're adding a little bit of red, tiny, tiny, tiny amount of red, and I am adding a touch of yellow, so that way it's not so pink. But if yours happens to be just a bit more pink with the white and the red, totally okay. You are also more than welcome to change the skin tone color and make this your own. It does not have to be reflective of Marilyn Monroe. You can turn this into your own character. And if you, again, like the background, if you have to mix your color a second or third time, it's great practice, so don't stress about trying to get the exact same shade. The more that you mix your color, the more your brain's going to remember the amount of pigment and how to mix each of those colors. And again, for this one, we are going pretty light for the skin tone. Started with the white, little bit of red, and a little bit of yellow. And filling in that whole face. And then what we're going to be doing in a moment, because this was not an acrylic painting that Warhol did, but a mixed media, we're actually mimicking that. So we're grabbing a little bit of black, and you saw that I grabbed that with the side of my brush, and we're placing it in a few areas. And again, a tiny, 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 tiny amount of this darker pigment will go a long way. I can't stress enough that a little bit of black will go a long way. And then we are blending that directly into that base paint that you just put on there, that skin tone color, and moving our brush on top of it and blending it. As you go through this painting, I want you to just basically observe where I place each of these colors, kind of the direction I move my brush for the blending, and just find your comfort level with it. If it's a little different than what the video looks like or what the original Warhol looked like, totally okay. The important thing today is that you are painting. And if you need to, switch down to that small pointy brush, especially as we do the nose. And again, you are strengthening your power of observation. So just notice where I'm placing it and the direction I'm moving the brush. You are more than welcome to pause the video as needed, and I highly recommend that you paint this a couple of times and even switch out colors if you want. I do recommend this video more for my beginner painters and not so much my first time painters. You might get a little frustrated with some of the blending if you're a first time painter. Check out some of my other videos on my channel to get comfortable with the process of painting and then move up to the beginner videos. So same thing that we did with the chin, we're placing this black in very specific places and filling in the eyebrows. And I am using that small pointy brush and placing the black where I need it. And then I'll sometimes even wipe the brush off and then go back and blend it in. If you feel like blending with your fingers and doing a little bit of finger painting, go right ahead and do that. If you're finding that your brush is shaky as you go to do some of these movements or blending or applying the paint, that generally means that you're holding your brush or your breath. So if you exhale as you touch the brush to the canvas, that will help you with your process. And like I said earlier, this does not have to be perfect. Just enjoy the process of painting. And this is a good spot to pause the video, take your progress photo. We're going to move up to either the large or the middle flat brush, and we're going to get that bright, iconic yellow blonde hair in there for Marilyn Monroe. Again, you can change the colors. And do take note of how often I'm reloading the brush and how thick I'm applying that paint. Warhol was definitely known for a lot of his really simple and graphic and bold colors, and this particular painting is definitely reflective of that boldness and those pop colors. And I am painting right over some of those traceable lines. And we're going to be doing the same thing that we did with the face and the skin tone. We're going to take some of that black, switch down to that small pointy brush, put this in a few specific places. I'm not going to do as much blending in the hair as I did on the face, but we are adding this in very specific places to give definition to the hair, and even moving the brush in specific directions. So feel free to pause the video as often as you need to. Observe the direction of these lines that I'm making and the general shape and the placement, and then mimic that to the best of your ability on your canvas. And strengthening your power of observation is a core foundational art skill. The more observant you become in art, the more observant you're actually going to become in your life, and you'll notice things that were always there, but maybe now you're recognizing them a little bit more. And that's really kind of the point of painting, is once you paint something and what you learn in today's painting, you're going to take that into your next painting and then your next painting and so on. So painting's not about being perfect, but it's kind of getting lost in the process of painting and then taking the skills that you learn into your next creative endeavor. So hopefully that takes some of the pressure off that you may have put on yourself. And same thing with this. If you're finding that your brush is shaky, exhale as you touch that brush to the canvas, and it'll be of benefit to your process. All right, so I think a few more spots on the hair, and then we're going to get those pupils in there. There we go. We got some pupils in there. And again, feel free to pause the video. If you're on a tablet, you can kind of zoom in. You can see the shape, but that pupil's pretty big. And even if you look at humans in general and you notice their eyes, their pupil does take up about 40% of their eyeball, unless something else is going on. But our pupil is what allows all the light to kind of come in and observe what we see. And then doing a little bit more shading around those eyes. And again, I was referencing Warhol's Marilyn Monroe collection of artwork. And there was quite a few. Like, I actually like the teal and the yellow. That's why I chose this one. But there are various color combos that he does, let alone what you can come up with your own imagination. So pause that video, take a progress photo. We're going to put the white on here. And in this particular one, there was a little bit of white space for where her teeth were. Because when Warhol did this, he actually did photocopies and then painted on top of that. And then we moved into the red, but left that white space in the center. Some of the other ones that Warhol did, he filled in the lips entirely. So again, your call if you want to leave the space for where the teeth would be, or if you want to fill in the lips completely with your lipstick red color. You get to make the judgment call on that. All right, I'm moving back to the black, doing a little bit of shading. We're going to put this again just in a few specific areas, and then you'll notice I wipe the brush off and then go back and blend that into the red. And again, a tiny amount of pigment, of black pigment, will go a long way for mixing and blending into any color that you add it. Again, kind of play with the pressure of your brush. Light pressure will help with the blending. More pressure, your brush strokes will show up a little bit more. And if you need to, like you just saw, I went back and grabbed some red to diffuse some of that black. Feel free to go back to that original color and apply it directly on top of what you were just doing. So now we're going back to that light teal, or if you chose blue. In a lot of the Warhol stuff, he did take that background color and use it for the eyeshadow, and even in some of them he used it for the eye color. And I'm using this for the eyeshadow, and think about when you do your makeup and your eyeshadow, you want to kind of put it on the top of the lid and then blend it up towards the eyebrow. And then same for the eye color, we're going for a light teal and just going right around that pupil and filling in the space. If you want to change her eye color, go right ahead and do that. Again, remember to breathe as you go through the process. All right, so just a few more little details. Add whatever you want to your Marylin painting. We're going to go back to that black paint in just a minute. Give her her iconic little, white first. Sorry, the catch lights. Yes, we need to get that in there. So do your white first, do your catch light, and pause that video and just notice where I placed this dot on that black pupil. And that's kind of what gives the spark of life. Now we're moving into the black, getting that little mole on there, and then getting a few little eyelashes that overlap the eyeshadow. Again, keeping light pressure with your brush. Rest your forearm against the edge of the table to keep your hands steady. And great job today, you guys. Thanks so much for painting. Please don't wait too long to do your next painting. And until then, cheers.
Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the process of painting and I hope you are happy with how your paintings turned out. I'm really proud of you for getting creative. As you're uploading these to social media, please tag me at or hashtag paintwithlovejoy or email me your pictures paintwithlovejoy@gmail.com. I really enjoy seeing them. I try to post them on social media to encourage other beginner painters to try the process of painting. But please share this with your community as well. Anybody who is kind of scared to paint, share your experience with them and let them know kind of how much you benefited from it and how much you enjoyed the process. So kind of share the fun. With that being said, if you have any comments, questions, feedback, things that you want me to paint in the future, please leave a comment. I try to respond to everybody as quickly as I can. And any of the future suggestions for paintings, I add that to my production list and get to them as quickly as I can. So in the meantime, please keep getting creative. Let me know how you're doing. And until next time, cheers.